Hi everyone, I hope you are doing great. Today, I would love to share another grammar lesson, but today's lesson is called the future perfect. But before we speak about that, let's just have a quick review of the simple future and how we can express it. The most common expressions used by students is the expression will. Okay, so this is what all or most of the students use, or this is the basic form that we use so as to express the simple future. For example, we say, I will travel next week. So we have the expression will plus a time expression in the future. So here we are speaking about the future simple, okay? Also, we can use be going to speak about the future, okay? For example, I say, I'm going to travel next week. So these two expressions are the most common expressions used, okay? There is also another form that we can use so as to express the future, and this is with the use of the present continuous. So here you may say, wait, this is the present continuous. So how come that we speak about the future with the present continuous? Okay, so my answer is sometimes we use the present continuous with the future intention. Okay, so I'm using the present continuous in this case not to speak about something that is happening now at this moment, okay? But I'm using the present continuous form to speak about something that is going to happen in the future. For example, I say, I'm traveling tonight. Okay, so here, now we are in the morning, okay? So I can say, I'm traveling tonight. So I'm speaking about an activity that I'm going to do at night, okay? Not now, which is the morning, okay? So here we have got three ways, okay, to express the simple future. But now let's speak please about the difference between using will, going to, and the present continuous, okay? So when I use the expression will, okay, so here I'm speaking about plans that I am not sure whether I'm going to do or not, or plans that I'm not sure whether I'm going to fulfill or not, okay? So sometimes, for example, someone just come to you and I say, hey, what are you going to do tomorrow? So you may say, tomorrow maybe I will watch a movie, okay? Or maybe I will visit my friend, okay? So you can see here that here I'm speaking about a decision that I have just taken right now, okay? So it's not something that I have planned before, okay? Or something that I was planning for before, okay? But when I use going to and the present continuous, okay? So when I use these two expressions, okay? So I'm speaking about something that I have already planned for, something that I had the intention to do, okay? So for example, when I say I'm going to travel or I'm traveling tonight, here I may mean, for example, this is something that I have already planned, okay? So my clothes are already packaged, okay, and everything is prepared, and I'm just waiting for the moment to travel, okay? But with the use of will, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to do it or not. So this is just a quick review of what is meant by the simple future. Now let's please move and speak about the topic of our lesson, the future perfect. So we speak about the future perfect, but let's just raise a question here. Is the future perfect? Okay, sometimes it is perfect, sometimes it is not, okay? So in your case, we hope that the future is going to be perfect and for everyone. So now please let me just have a quick comparison between the use of the simple future and the use of the future perfect. So when I speak about the simple future, here I'm speaking about something that I'm planning to do. Okay, so the action is not yet done. So for example, when I say I will travel next week, so have I traveled? Not yet. Okay, so this is just something that I'm planning to do. When I say, for example, I will start my project next week. Okay, I will start my project next week. Okay, so this project is going to start next week. Okay, so here I'm just speaking about something to do, okay, in a time in the future. But when I speak about the future perfect, I speak about an activity. Look, so here we say we are speaking about an action or an activity that will be completed before a certain time or another action. Okay, so the main difference is here we are speaking about something to do. Okay, but with the future perfect, I'm speaking about an activity that will be completed or an action that will be completed when? Before a certain time in the future or before a certain activity. Okay, so here, please, something will be completed. This is very important. Okay, completed either before a certain time or before a certain action. Okay, now let's speak about the use of the future perfect. So we can say the future perfect refers to a complete action in the future. This action will be completed. Okay, so this is a key term here. This action will be completed sometime later than now. Okay, which means in a time in the future. Okay, or something will happen and be completed. Okay, by a certain time in the future. Okay, so here this is the moment of speaking. So when I say about, or when I'm speaking about the future perfect, so I mean this activity, okay, that will be completed before either I have another activity here or I have a certain time here. Okay, so I'm speaking about this is the time of the future perfect. Okay, so this activity must be or should be completed before either another activity that we have here, or we say before a certain time here. Let's see please this in an example. I can say, I will graduate in June, I will see you in July. Okay, so here we have two actions that are going to happen in the future. So this is the moment of speaking. So I will graduate in June, okay, and I will see you in July. So by the time, okay, by the time I see you in July, so is this action will be completed? Of course, yes. Okay, so with this action I'm going to use the future perfect. Okay, so I can say by the time I see you, I will have graduated. Why? Because when I see you, that time will be July. Okay, and this activity or this action here will be completed. Okay, so by the time I see you, so here we have an activity which is this will be completed before another activity here. Okay, so when I have two activities, so the second activity is used with the simple present and the first activity is used with the future perfect. So now let's speak about some of the time expressions used with the future perfect. Okay, so these are kind of indicators that you have to pay attention to so as to know that you are speaking about the future perfect. So we have, for example, by plus a time, by 2050, by 2020, by 2000, for example, but this time should be in the future, by 2070 and so on. So what are the activities that you will complete before this time? Okay, so I can say, for example, by this time I will have got married, I will have got children, and so on. By this time next year, okay, before, okay, so here when I speak about, for example, before another time or before another activity, for example, I will have completed my baccalaureate exams before August, okay, for example, or before my father arrives, by the time, okay, by then, by the end of, and by tomorrow. Okay, so all these expressions, for example, we can have them when we are speaking about the future perfect. Now let's please study some examples. By 2030, okay, now we are just in 2020. Okay, so by 2030, so this is a time in the future. Okay, so what is the activity that will be completed before this time? Is this one. Okay, so we will have finished our project by this time next year. By this time next year, for example, June 2021. Okay, by this time next year, I will have completed my contract, and then I will have finished my project by the end of this month. Okay, so by the end of this month, I will have completed my project. So I will have finished my project. So this is something that will be completed before what? Before this time in the future. We will have, okay, so this is we will have got our baccalaureate degree by September. So when September comes, okay, will you still have passing the exams and so on? No. Okay, so you will have finished, okay, and then you will have got your baccalaureate degree. So as for the form of the future perfect, so we can speak about the future perfect in different forms. We can speak about it in the affirmative, negative, and interrogative. So in the affirmative, please, we say, or we have the form subject plus will plus have plus past participle. Please make sure to know the past participle form of some irregular verbs. By 2040, scientists will have invented flying cars. By 2040, scientists, okay, scientist is the subject, will plus have plus past participle. For the negative form, okay, so we have the subject plus will plus not plus have plus past participle. Okay, for example, we say by 2040, scientists will not have completed or will not have invented flying cars. Okay, so here we are speaking about an activity that will not be completed before a certain time in the future. Okay, for the interrogative form, we have will plus subject plus have plus past participle. Okay, and then we will say by 2040, okay, will scientists have invented flying cars? So here I'm speaking about an interrogative form. Okay, so this is mainly all you have to know about the future perfect. So it's an easy lesson. Please, for exercises, I will have to put an exercise in the comment section. So please, you can do it and then send it to me there. So good luck.